All right, now, UFC 321, October 25th, Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. Tom Aspinall will face Ciryl Gane. Aspinall has 15 wins, and all of them are by finish. Gane is the #1 ranked heavyweight. You can go to tickets go on sale
undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Wigan, the one and only Tommy Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall, Tommy, defending his undisputed gold, technically for the very first time against the pride of France, the French prince himself, Bon Gamin himself, the one and only Ciryl Gane. These two have been going back and forth for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Well, this was the fight that we all thought was going to happen in Tom's official first title defense, and so it is in fact going to happen. Tom wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. That was the sense that we got when he became undisputed champion. He didn't want to wait for New York. Let's be honest, the tax is a little better over there in Abu Dhabi compared to New York for an Englishman, for anyone, if we're being 100% honest. And so he wanted to be active. He wanted to fight in October. He wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. It's closer to home. And so they oblige. And you'll recall a few weeks ago I said, it's looking like Magomed and Alex, October 4th. It's looking like Tom versus Ciryl, October 25th. And it's looking like JDM versus Islam in New York. That would be the next pay-per-view. Now, that hasn't been officially announced. That hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered. But at this point, I would be surprised, considering how the chips just fell earlier today. I would be surprised if it doesn't play out that way.
So me and Ciryl, we've been supposed to fight each other a couple of times before. Similar age as well. You were kind of both coming through, right? Well, he's a tiny bit older than you, isn't he? I think he's a little bit older, and he has a couple more, or at least he started his career in the UFC a little bit earlier than I did. I was trying to fight him because he was like kind of just a little bit above me all the time. Fight never materialized. He turned me down a couple of times, to be honest.
Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. What's the first step for him?
Given the one contender, Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't see Tom Aspinall rid of it right away like he has with other people. And I think that'll be a big indication if Jon Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
I think you're absolutely right. Fight that makes sense. Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Let's make that happen. Ciryl Gane is... People forget how fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power. It's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
The heavyweight division just experienced a major shakeup as Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane is officially set, sending the MMA world into chaos. One is a wrecking machine with explosive speed and raw power, while the other is a precise sniper in a heavyweight's frame. This fight isn't just about the gold, it's about dominance, and experts are already divided. Following the announcement, Aspinall expressed his excitement and eagerness to stay active, viewing this bout as a key step toward his dream matchup with Jon Jones, which many fans hope will take place.
This is it. I've had 3.5 years off of MMA fighting before, so this is no problem for me. Ring rust is all mental anyway, so I'm happy just to get back in there, get stuff moving, and get active again.
And what can we expect? Tom Aspinall, October 25th, English fans are in Abu Dhabi.
Yes, this is great because we're on English time. We're going to be fighting on European time as well, so plenty of guys can fly over. It's going to be busy over there in Abu Dhabi, full of English fans, full of Tom Aspinall fans, which is great. We can just be expecting me, an improved version of me. I've had a year to train. I've had a year to test my skills and improve, and I'm going to show everyone what that's all about on the 25th of October.
In response to the announcement, Tom Aspinall, the humble competitor, isn't talking trash. Instead, he's keeping things cool, calculated, and confident. Reacting to his upcoming clash with Ciryl Gane, Aspinall praised the Frenchman's skill set while subtly acknowledging the razor-thin margins of their matchup. "I think we both have similar styles," he noted in a recent interview, referencing their movement-heavy technical approach to heavyweight combat. While recognizing Gane's slickness and sharp technique, Aspinall emphasized the unique attributes he brings to the table: explosiveness, unpredictability, and the ability to finish from anywhere. He's made it clear that this fight isn't personal, it's about proving who truly deserves to sit at the top.
Both me and Ciryl are very... We both have niche style for heavyweights. We don't fight like heavyweights, both of us, so this could be the fastest, the best moving heavyweight fight that anybody's ever seen. We're both great movers, we're both light on our feet, we're both elusive, so this is going to be really great.
Beyond the fight show, Chael Sonnen hyped up the upcoming heavyweight clash, calling it 100% necessary and highlighting Tom Aspinall as exactly the kind of fighter you want on the path to Ciryl Gane and beyond.
There's a massive transitional fight for the heavyweight division. Now, you got to
Sonnen pointed
understand.
out that Aspinall has already cleared out most of the top 10 contenders, making him the rightful #1 challenger thanks to his elite athleticism, speed, and dangerous submission game. Tom isn't just a placeholder, a powerhouse who demands respect. While Sonnen didn't outright predict an Aspinall victory, he emphasized the magnitude of this challenge, noting that if Tom delivers an impressive performance, it will solidify that he's always belonged in the elite tier of the heavyweight division.
You beat 6 men all the same way, which is stand up and by knockout. It's a matchup-wise, it's an interesting match. But what does that match set up? It doesn't set up the return of Jon. Not if Ciryl wins.
UFC Hall of Famer and legend Michael Bisping shares the same views as Sonnen, praising the announcement of Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane and calling it the most technical heavyweight matchup on the roster. Bisping made it clear that this isn't just another title defense, it's the fight that could define Tom's reign, with Ciryl Gane standing as the clear #1 contender and Tom having already faced most of the top 10. Bisping emphasized the magnitude of this clash, stating, Tom's already cleaned out most of the division, and now he's taking on the most dangerous.
Look at the UFC heavyweight rankings. As I say, Tom beat most of them, and he's beat them in style, and he's knocked them all out. Curtis Blade, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov, whoever they are, he's beaten them all up. But Ciryl Gane is a little bit different. Now, of course, Jon Jones beat Ciryl Gane in quick fashion, took him down in the first round, submitted him with a front choke. But Ciryl Gane is the same as Tom Aspinall in terms of athletic ability. When I say that Tom Aspinall is a heavyweight George St. Pierre, that kind of goes to Ciryl Gane as well. The man's gigantic. He's very quick. He's agile. He's light on his feet. He could run any sport on the planet. And he's almost like George St. Pierre and Tom Aspinall in the fact that he's got all those athletic attributes and qualities, but he doesn't have the grappling. That's what cost him against Jon Jones.
Michael Bisping expressed genuine respect for Ciryl Gane, calling him one of the slickest, most intelligent heavyweights of our generation. He praised Gane's elite footwork, precision striking, and experience in championship-level matchups. But when it came to predicting the outcome, Bisping stated with full confidence that Tom Aspinall has what it takes to get the job done and solidify himself as the true king of the heavyweight division.
But of course, I do fancy Tom Aspinall to get the job done. The fact that he isn't fighting Jon Jones is insane, but we've talked about that till the cows come home, so I'm not going to bore you on that subject anymore. But just you wait. Jon Jones is probably going to pop up on Twitter. If he doesn't beat Ciryl Gane as fast as what Jon did,
that declaration carried serious weight. Bisping emphasized that while Gane brings technical brilliance, Aspinall offers raw power, speed, and a proven ability to finish elite opponents. He praised Aspinall for stepping up to defend his title, instead of dodging top contenders like Jon Jones, arguing that this is exactly the kind of fight every true champion should embrace. In Bisping's eyes, riding high on momentum and backed by undeniable credentials, Aspinall isn't just the favorite, he's a man on a mission, eager to cement his legacy by making a definitive statement.
He could clip him. This is a dangerous fight. This is heavyweight MMA. But Tom Aspinall can grapple, which seen him take people down. He's done jiu-jitsu since he was about 15 years old. His dad is going to be on his case, and that's an absolute fact, saying, hey, you're not messing with this guy. Take him down, show him what you can do, show the world your grappling capability. Remember, Ciryl Gane turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler, okay? So he's a very, very credible
Former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman weighed in on the Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane matchup, echoing Henry Cejudo's sentiments that this fight makes perfect sense. Speaking alongside Cejudo, Usman said, I think you're absolutely right. The fight that makes sense is Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. People forget how fantastic Gane is. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, his speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore. Usman praised Aspinall for accepting a high-risk fight rather than avoiding elite competition, affirming that squaring off against Gane is the logical and rightful title defense.
Okay, but Henry, here's the thing now is Dana White, obviously we announced that now Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Now, think about what's the first, what do you think? Where do we put him now? I mean, what's the first step for him in moving forward here?
Usman also pointed out that while Tom Aspinall has impressively cleared out most of the division, he has yet to face the two best contenders ranked just below him. Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo warned that Ciryl Gane's technical mastery and elusive style present a challenge unlike anything Aspinall has encountered before. He cautioned fans against expecting another highlight reel knockout, emphasizing that this is a different level of opposition. "I don't think Tom beats Gane as he beat all the other guys," Cejudo remarked. Usman's praise for Aspinall was strong, but he quickly shifted focus to remind fans not to overlook the man standing across the octagon. He reinforced that Gane is far more than just a slick striker, highlighting his rare footwork, elite fight, IQ, and calmness under pressure. Usman called Gane one of the most dangerous heavyweights when fully dialed in. While the spotlight may be on Aspinall's meteoric rise, Usman insisted that Gane still poses a massive threat and shouldn't be dismissed because of two high-profile losses. According to him, Gane's defeats came only against the absolute elite Francis Ngannou and Jon Jones, and neither of them had an easy time. "I think people forget how
fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. So I think that is something that could potentially present danger for a guy like Tom Aspinall. Man, Tom's move, his boxing and speed and his power is, I can't, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man. So, yeah, that's not something that we're going to do here. I think it's going to be a
In a recent episode of the Ariel Helwani Show, Eric Jackman didn't hold back his admiration for Tom Aspinall, calling the upcoming fight against Ciryl Gane the true beginning of the Tom Aspinall era. Speaking with Ariel Helwani, Jackman praised Aspinall's meteoric rise in the UFC and how he's handled every challenge with dominance and composure. "There's something special about this guy," Jackman said. "He's not just winning, he's finishing elite heavyweights and doing it in style." He also emphasized Aspinall's willingness to step up like a real champion, taking on the most dangerous available contender while others might choose to wait. "If he beats Ciryl Gane the way he's been beating everyone else," Jackman added, "we're not just looking at a champion, we're looking at the man who might define this division for years to come."
The beginning of the Tom Aspinall era starts in October.
Yes.
That is my number one reaction. Finally, we have pen to paper. Tom Aspinall has his marching orders, and that is the beginning of the heavyweight king's reign.
I love that. And then he wins that fight, and then he defends the belt against Jon Jones at the White House on July 4th.
Now, maybe you slip like Buchecha in there, maybe you slip Derek Lewis in there, and then he defends.
You're giving Marcus Buchecha a title fight after one fight? Turn jerker on Saturday?
Yeah,
Rick wants the thumbnail for Boys in the Back on Thursday to be like Tom Aspinall's worst nightmare, and it's a picture of Buchecha.
I actually proposed
and
that.
us like looking scared in the corner.
Ariel Helwani and his panel broke down just how pivotal Tom Aspinall's upcoming title defense against Ciryl Gane truly is. Emphasizing the massive political capital riding on the outcome, Helwani noted that Jon Jones's only win over Gane, quick first-round submission at UFC 285, has become a crutch, a talking point Jones often leans on to deflect criticism about inactivity and selective matchups. During the MMA Hour, Helwani stated, "If Aspinall beats Gane in more dominant fashion in front of millions, then that submission suddenly looks like a softer legacy point," suggesting that Aspinall's performance could completely erase Jones's leverage in the title picture. If Aspinall handles Gane with power and polish, Helwani argued, then any cheap shots or snide remarks Jones might use would lose their sting, and the narrative around who truly rules the heavyweight division could shift overnight.
Everyone's going to compare Tom's performance to Jon's performance against Ciryl. If Tom wants to try to outdo Jon's performance, he is going to have to go, unless he gets it at 203 or 202 on the dot, below his...
I think Tom knocking out Ciryl will be viewed as more significant than... Tom submitting Ciryl or the way that Jon submitted Ciryl. The Jon one was just so shocking because Jon's moving up to heavyweight. We hadn't seen him in forever, and all of a sudden he walks in there and drops him like a sack of potatoes after choking him out. It was the shock and awe of the Jon Jones part of it. If Tom goes out there and ices Ciryl Gane, it will be viewed, even if it takes a round and a half, it will be viewed as very significant.
I pray that Tom doesn't feel any sort of pressure to beat that 204-minute mark as a comparison to Jon Jones, because something that's a lot more important than finishing Ciryl Gane faster than Jon Jones is beating Ciryl Gane, period. You can't lose the fight. You can't put yourself...
If Tom Aspinall beats Ciryl Gane, decisively, especially in more dominant fashion than Jon Jones did, sends a message the MMA world can't ignore. With the UFC's planned White House event already steeped in symbolism and spectacle, such a win would set the stage for an undeniable main event. Aspinall versus Jon Jones, not just for the belt, but for legacy. A performance like that reshuffles the entire heavyweight landscape, elevating Tom from interim title holder to the undisputed man who cleared the field. Dana White would have no reason to stall the matchup fans are demanding. The narrative of the unified champ versus the GOAT writes itself. On the flip side, if Gane pulls off the upset, the UFC may be forced to pivot possibly toward a Jones-Gane rematch or introducing a new contender into the mix. But if Tom steamrolls Gane, that White House card transforms into a coronation, with the whole world watching. As Chael Sonnen said, the potential outcome of this fight might be even more thrilling than the fight itself. Tom
versus Ciryl. I like that. But I love the potential fallout.
Tom Aspinall hasn't minced words when it comes to Jon Jones. In a recent video, he stated plainly, "Jon Jones doesn't want to fight me." Aspinall believes Jones is deliberately avoiding the matchup, fully aware of how dangerous he is inside the octagon. Rather than sitting on the sidelines, Tom made it clear he has no intention of waiting. He plans to stay active and continue dominating everyone the UFC puts in front of him.
At this point, Jon Jones, the guy is doing anything he can to not fight me right now. So I don't want to wait any longer. You know, I'm fit. I'm ready to go. I want to make money. I want to defend my title. I want to stay active. I want to do it for the fans. I want to do it for myself. I want to stay motivated. I want to stay in the gym. I want to get improving. I want to do all the good stuff. So I'm a fighter, man, and I ain't ducking nobody. And if I have to fight Ciryl Gane, I'll go out
Just
there.
another title defense. It's the moment the heavyweight division either gains long-awaited clarity or crowns a new king with nothing left to prove. Who takes it, Aspinall or Gane? And does Jon Jones even show up, or keep ducking the smoke? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Smash that like button if you're backing Aspinall's rise. And don't forget to subscribe for all the fallout from the biggest heavyweight shakeup in years.